I don't ever get messages. Okay, nonsense. The fuck, bro? I have a fucking Samsung Galaxy fucking 22, bro. What do you mean? That's the one I chose. No, it's an old one, but it's an updated one. Yeah, it's like if you listen to the quality of it, it's actually quality is actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. Really, I think if you hear from from through my mic, it might sound a bit different than actually. Actually hearing it and actually like you know when you have like an old Pokemon game, like a really old one, you'll hear like the Pokemon battle, like and it's just
that sounds like shit to me.
Oh god! Look, I'm just trying to say the newer
from ones, nostalgia. Essentially, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but you could hear the difference between an old one and a new one, right? Like you can hear the new Pokemon game even from like two Pokemon games.
They all sound like shit to me. They all sound like shit to me. Like
savage, bro.
Hey, I'm honest. That's the best way to put it. I am honest to a fault. Yeah, it sounds like shit to me. They could make it sound like less like shit by not making it be shit, but they've chosen.
Bro, you're a savage, bro. Like, yo, chill.
They have chosen the Pokemon Company. They got all that money. People are horny for their Pokemons. They're like, oh my god, must have Pokemon.
I don't know who's actually horny for their Pokemon, but okay, continue.
I mean, granted, I do have what do you call it? I do have people I know who do be horny for Pokemons. Now, that being said, pardon?
Nothing.
I didn't hear what you just...
Pokemon the streamer.
Not the streamer. You know what I mean. Trying to come at me.
Get your panties in a bunch.
Pokemon the streamer. Not talking about that. Talking about them Pokemons.
Poke and the Pokemon.
Them Pokemons out here in these Pokemon streets.
I remember Bill Cosby talking about, what you guys playing? Even though he was a bunch of kids talking about Pokemon. It's like, oh, you guys like Pokemons? I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's
I've never seen. I didn't know he was like.
It's an old last video. It's an old.
I think about like it makes me forget. Like to a certain extent, I kind of forget how old Pokemon is. Because like when I think about like when Bill Cosby would have been relevant enough, it would have been like ages ago. Like I feel like I
was like 5.
I feel like that would be before Pokemon in my brain at least. But maybe I'm just sort of like mixing up the times when things happened and stuff like that. Or I don't know. Yeah. I don't keep up with that kind of shit, to be honest. But anyway, hello and welcome to the Innocent Podcast. This is episode 10 of the Innocent Podcast. We are 2 people, myself being Q and my boy Rare, sitting there.
Boy, oh.
Yeah, you know my boy.
I've upgraded, guys.
You know we good like
Hello,
that.
Everyone. I knew you started when you started, man. I got that shit notified on lock. You know what I'm saying? On lock.
Labeler, But yeah.
Yes. Welcome. How was your week, Q? How was your week?
Had a week off.
Lack of family. Yeah, I know. We've established, but
to be frank, I wasn't feeling well this week. This past week I was not feeling well. So I can say that much. I have not been and I say that medically speaking, I have not been feeling well. Right. So hence the reason why most people haven't heard from me. Hence the reason why I didn't stream. I just wasn't feeling well. I tried on certain days, but I just couldn't muster up the energy to move. Or I had a bunch of chest pains and all that kind of stuff. And
oh boy.
At one point in time, I thought I was gonna die. So I lay down to bed and I was like, what if I die in my sleep or something? Yeah.
Is that chest pain like is that like a chest pain of like a cold, or chest pain like you've been like training chest pain? You know, like what, like the difference?
It's definitely not like a cold. It's definitely not like a cold. I can say that much. It was quite painful. Let's put it that way.
All right.
But it's all good. Like I'm good now.
All right.
I don't know what, usually I get those when I'm stressed out. So I usually, it's not uncommon for me to get them, but usually when I do get them, it's because I am stressed out. So, but my sister was asking me, like, she was asking me this, like, was it yesterday or something? She's like, what are you stressed about? Because she knows I usually get these when I'm stressed out. So she's like, what's stressing you out? And I'm like, okay. I don't know of anything that stressed me out. Like, I'm home, no one's here. Like, I don't really have anything that I'm thinking about, like, outside of the regular stuff that's usually in my mind. So it was sort of like, I don't know what could be stressing me out. But if there is something stressing me out, I don't know. It's sort of like, I can't tell what could have been the issue, essentially. But apparently there was an issue.
No diagnostic. Right, okay.
I can't self-diagnose myself. So
I kind of get that with a job, like a job interview or something. The thing is, I would get dizzy. I have vertigo. I don't know if you know what that is.
Weakness, that's what it sounds like to me.
Pretty much, yeah. It's flaw of mortality, I guess. But I didn't realize, I thought it was just my vertigo, but apparently my stress also makes me dizzy. So vertigo makes you dizzy through your ears, but my stress just, I guess, changes my blood pressure, like me standing up too fast or something. I'm relatively tall. So
again, just essentially weakness. I mean, on other people, vertigo must be a serious thing, but on you, it's just weakness. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all those years of diving.
No, just all those years of being weak. Not had nothing to do with diving.
Oh no, I wasn't weak before. I was God before.
I'm still weak now. Oh man. So how was your week though? What did you get up to?
My week, the missus was off for the most part.
I played Black Desert for the whole week. That's all I did.
Actually, I wish I did, but I ended up spending more time with my kid and doing more outdoor stuff. So
look at you, a whole person and everything.
Yeah, it was disgusting. I need to, like, starting from tomorrow, it's back to just me and my daughter, and I'm just going to be like home all day, inside all day, and I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to be like, oh, yes, my natural environment. And it's not like munching on Doritos and filling my veins with Mountain Dew and all kinds of stuff.
You're such a neat, like you're such one of those anime characters who he never leaves the house. He's stuck in there, He's like, I can't go anywhere, I'm afraid of going outside. Sunlight kills me. It burns.
Oh man, sunlight, bro! I've grown to hate it. I mean, I love summers. I'm not ironically, I'm a summer person. I'm born in the summer as well, but
winter's the best season. But screw summer. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of winter. Fuck that. No, the one I've told you, right? The 1 or 2 times I've been cold in Sweden just did it for me, man. I used to love the cold, and I was just like, nah, what? I love my Caribbean, sweaty boy life. Sweaty balls every day, but you're like showering like 2 to 3 times a day, so it's all good.
Yeah, not me. I can't stand, and the thing is, I don't like winter because of the temperature. I like winter because there are no bugs. Like, that's the main reason I don't like winter. That I hate summer. I can't stand summer because literally during the summer, it's just constantly like you can't leave a window open. Shit just flies in. Maybe if I got one of those sort of like mesh netted things that you could put over your windows to prevent stuff from flying in, I'd probably not be bothered by summer. But no, the shit flies in your house all the time, which is annoying to me. I don't want anything flying into my bloody house. And I think
that's funny.
What do you mean that's funny? What's so funny about that?
Oh no, it's just funny because I'm gonna cut you off, but I basically just thought of Sweden and how big our windows were, and then I'm like, it's so cold. Then in the summer we have insects, but no one cares. Like, I've never heard of. Obviously, some people care about like bees and stuff, but we just like we accept them for what they are,
Nah,
so,
not me.
I don't know. I was just thinking about it from like a Swedish.
Not me. Flies come in. I'm like, God damn flies, Like, and I've passed it on to the chibis as well. Like Ty's sort of like, he's like, oh, there's a fly, and he's ready to like end the fly because flies suck. They go on your food. That's the other thing too. You can't just leave food out during the summer. Like, you could do it in the winter. Like, you could literally forget to put away something and like leave it in the pot or something, and it would still be fine in the morning. You do that in the summer, your shit is done. Like, it's not good anymore. It smells. It has bugs in there. It's gross. Maggots are growing. summer sucks when it comes to.
I'm gonna have to say you're not gonna like Malta if you ever eat out in Malta. This is like the weirdest shit ever. Like this doesn't. I don't remember this happening in the Caribbean, but in Malta, like during the summer, obviously, you sit out and eat like you're like, oh, it's Malta, it's hot. We're going to the beach. You sit and you like order some food somewhere. You're gonna have some pasta or whatever, and as soon as you order the food, the flies come, bro, and they come hard, bro. They're like if you're like especially popular places. The flies have no fucking they don't care about you as well. Like they land on your finger where your burger is, and then you'd be like, "Bro, fuck off my finger, bro!" You'll fucking whack your finger like you're flicking it. You know what he'll do? He'll fly, fucking land back right on the same fucking place in the exact same finger, bro. I'm telling you, and they don't care, bro. No chill. They literally woke up every day, choose violence. I have 24 hours to live. I literally woke up today. I chose violence, bro. Like I'm a fucking fly now. I went from being a fucking maggot to a fly. And I love animals, but fuck me, bro. Bro, flies suck, they're so tilting, bro. They're so tilting.
Flies suck. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the podcast, make sure to leave a like. It helps the show. All likes help. And share if you can as well. Please share the podcast. But yeah, flies suck. And winter, the only issue I have with winter is mold. That's the only issue I have with winter is that mold. Our house gets mold during the winter. I think it's just how well insulated the walls are. I think the walls need to be like redone or something.
It's weird. Super weird.
It is weird. It is like I've never had that in my life. Like granted, living in the tropics, that shit don't happen in the tropics, but
I was thinking about Sweden. That's why it's weird. I lived in Sweden for so many years. Never happened.
Even Roger told me the same thing. He told me like that doesn't happen for him in Sweden.
I've never heard about it. Yeah, it's weird. But it does happen in Malta. My current apartment has a lot of mold.
It happens in Malta, really?
Yeah. It happens a lot in Malta. Malta is humid as fuck. It's like it's 87% humidity right now.
I never got that in TT. Like literally,
I've never
happened in TT.
Maybe some dot in your bathroom that it's like, okay, if it gets worse, but never to the point where I've had to like actually sweep it on and I've had done like at least once a year I do it in Malta because like the freaking mold just comes. I think I can get an old picture. I'll show you my old mold in my bathroom if you want to see.
No, I don't want to see it. Mold actually grosses me out. Okay. But the thing, there's one of the things for me is that like I can usually make myself super brave about something that grosses me out. So like mold really grosses me out, but
your skin and stuff.
Like my skin will crawl and stuff like that. But once I start cleaning and there's a certain point where my brain just switches off and I'm just sort of like I can't take it anymore. Like screw it, I'm just gonna deal with it. Yeah. That kind of when that switch flicks, like it doesn't bother me anymore. Like I'll just deal with it. But before it flicks, like it takes a while before I actually get to that point where I'm like, oh god.
It's like cleaning like where your garbage area is, maybe, or like the toilets.
Same.
You're like, oh, god, it's disgusting. And then you start getting into it, and you're like, fuck it needs to be done.
Like I was actually repairing my toilet this past week. And at first I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch that ew. I'm like sticking my finger. Like I was so like all grossed out and shit by the whole thing, because the toilet had like rust on it and all that kind of stuff from all the moisture and all that kind of stuff underneath the toilet, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to touch it. And then inevitably, like I literally had like I had like my head was covered up. I had a face mask on. I was like, I don't want anything splash on my mouth. Ew. By the time I was like deep into the thing, like I'd already taken off the tank and I was doing like a couple maintenance repairs and stuff, and I had to do it like 3 or 4 times. Man, I was just like, screw it. Like I'm rubbing my arms all over the toilet and shit. Like I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna have a shower after this anyway. Like exactly. Yeah. So I did that. You
feel like a Ghostbuster after.
Yeah, I was like, I don't give a shit about this anymore. I don't freaking care, and I just went for it. I was like, and the toilet was fixed, and yay, hooray for toilets that are fixed and all that kind of good stuff. You see, sometimes you guys get to hear a bit about our regular lives before we start talking about them waifus. So we finished Goblin Slayer, haven't we?
I have finished both. Well, is it 2? How many episodes was it? I keep forgetting. Like, I'm so confused. It's 12 episodes, right?
12 episodes and a movie. That's
right. So I've seen all of that. I basically have seen all of Goblin Slayer. I actually watched it like pretty much like the day after we did the last episode. For like TLDR for those in the listening post, they're gonna be like, oh, it's like, yeah, just literally the day after I listened to it, and then I went on and I started watching a few other like shows, but I my memory's still there. To break it down really like quickly. So yeah, been watching a bit of just real quick, a little bit of House of the Dragon. I keep saying it wrong.
House of the Dragon. Look at you, a whole person. Look at you.
I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones or
no, man.
That. I'm not gonna obviously.
I don't watch that kind of. That's a pleb show. Yeah.
You're a freaking pleb, so it fits right in, right? Anyway.
Winter is coming.
Winter, is coming. But
winter's
House of the
Jonathan
is
Snow.
Jonathan,
yes.
Bro, you're the 1% that doesn't watch it. I have a few friends like that. Ugh, disgusting.
To be quite frank, I did a whole podcast series with Roger on Game of Thrones. I've seen every episode of it. I'm just teasing.
Oh, you have. I thought you were one of those 1%ers that are just like Richard, and my other friend is like a 1%er that doesn't watch it. I'm just like,
nah. I saw every single episode. Like Roger.
Are you gonna be Sorry, go on. I was gonna ask you if you're gonna be doing with Roger as well, the House of the Dragon.
We probably will. I think Roger is watching it right now, but I haven't started watching it yet. So
right, okay.
I'm behind because also the Dragon is on. I think here in the UK it's on HBO, and we don't get HBO in the UK. So it's like, how am I going to fracking watch this thing? Like, I don't have an option to watch this unless, of course, I commit crimes. I'm not a criminal. So, so yeah. Unfortunately, House of the Dragon is off limits for me at the moment until I actually get a way to watch it. Unless of course if I'm paying for it. I don't even know if you could pay for it on. I think I'll have to get like a cable package or something to watch that. And
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, boy, ain't looking to spend no cable money. Like we ain't about that homeless life.
Money.
So yeah.
But yeah, so I've been watching that, and I've been feeling like my character. I'm gonna bring up videos. My character in video is also a dragon, as like a dragon knight. So I've been feeling really dragony lately. So I've just been wanting to play some dragon games that I currently I've had in the past. And I've just been like, oh, dragons are cool. I want to look up dragon facts and watch any kind of media with dragons in it. So I'm just like, ooh, dragon. Like all I'm seeing is dragons everywhere. Now YouTube is like bombarding me with House of Dragons discussions and podcasts and video recommendations. And I like this kind of like this part of watching a series cycle, like especially something like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. I'm just like, or even Breaking Bad, which is like
you like nonsense. Relevant. That's basically
it. Basically, or even anime, like obviously anime as well. Like when we watched Cyberpunk, I was loving that whole week, like in 2 weeks or even 3 weeks after Cyberpunk, I was just like, oh, Cyberpunk, oh, Rebecca, oh, this and that, and talking
I'm
to
too
my
cool
friend.
for that. I don't do that kind of shit.
No, okay, well, just me then.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure someone in the post is gonna be like, yeah, I can relate. Rare is a pretty cool guy.
No, that's not gonna happen. Keep dreaming, right?
Right, fair enough.
There's no one that can relate, I can even hear your daughter in the background just shaking her head in disapproval. Not you, daddy. Not even I can associate with you.
Like, can't, so just like,
can't relate.
She actually loves the dragons. She loves the dragons.
She's
like,
probably,
oh, dragons. She's like, wow. I'm like, it's not a wow. I mean, it's kind of a wow, but it's a wow. No, it's not a wow.
Can you imagine you come in and you find her listening to the podcast somehow? Like she's found a way to download it, or she's like she's listening to on her tablet or whatever. And she's just like shaking her head like, nope, disappointed.
She like rewinds one part for you. She's like, yeah, you see this part here?
You could do better. Yeah.
Just constantly shaking her head.
You chose the wrong wife in this segment. No, daddy. Try better next time.
I would love that.
That would be awesome. That would be super awesome.
That would be awesome.
There was one time I actually asked Ty who was his wife. Like I've actually got a recording of this on my phone. I was asking him like, who's your wife? And he
sure when he's like 20, by the way.
I probably will at that point in time. But he did tell me who his wife was. But I'm keeping that for myself. That's for my percentage. I'm not telling you guys who his wife was, but he did choose a very, very good wife, if I do say so myself. He actually chose 2, to be honest. I was proud of him.
Damn, 2. Yeah. Which guy doesn't choose 2?
He's like,
2 better than 1.
He's like, I can't. Like, I told him choose your favorite, and he was like, I can't choose one. I gotta have 2 waifus.
That sounds like every kid ever, like every small kid, young boy, whatever. we're all like that, you know. Two waifus,
yeah, no,
one for this and one for this, you know.
Yeah, I gotta have different waifus for different things, you know. Selfie Chan, Ray is my waifu. Really? Ray, you got waifu? You got a waifu? This bando ain't got. I disagree. Am I reading that name correctly?
Right, Selfie. Yes.
Yeah,
it's actually Safey, I think.
Safey, you're wrong,
Safey.
Right? Just to let you know, you are very wrong. He can't be a waifu, right? And even if it is possible to waifu or bando him, you just can't, because like the association of waifus and bandos, they don't accredit him. You know, he's just.
It's only for 2D characters.
Not even for 2. Even if he was 2D, they wouldn't accredit him. You know, he just doesn't have that caliber.
Show me under the bus.
I know, right? It's just a fact.
So mean.
That's part of my charm, isn't it?
That's why you're here.
So
Q's here to podcast. I'm here to get bullied.
yes. You know what? You are like what's her face again from the anime we did before? Dirtiness, yeah. You are like her, you know, like, oh yes, say more bad things about me. Oh, it feels so good.
So good. Oh, I wish I was that fucked up. I would love to be. I'm actually kind of envious, I'm not gonna lie.
You know, Seifi-chan, why is Red the best wife? You need to explain this to me, you know, and also Seifi-chan, explain to me why, like, you are not just Red's secret account that he's using to like compliment himself.
Just
his bot account to compliment himself.
Way too much work.
So you've seen right, we've both watched
By the way, real quick before you start, Q. 2 things.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning: Goblin Slayer episode 9 and the movie. Just so you guys know. Obvious spoiler warning.
From episode 9 to 12.
Sorry, yes.
Let's just say the whole season, because I'm going to be speaking about it.
We might touch on the stuff, but yeah.
So if you haven't seen Goblin Slayer, just keep watching. You know, such as life, these things happen, and if you have, then great. You know, it's easier for you.
Listen to the podcast, get spoiled, then go watch the show, then come back to the podcast and watch it again.
Yeah, and then comment and let us know why we're right about everything that we say about
exactly.
It's brilliant.
And mostly, if anything is wrong, it probably come out from Q's mouth, right? Because you know.
Yeah, no.
And I wanted to say another thing. If you notice about Goblin Slayer, did you notice my icon, my new Discord icon that I changed as I've.
Oh shit! I didn't. To be honest, you changed your Discord icon so often. I don't even give a shit anymore. Like, I don't look at your icon.
My.
Like, honestly, I don't. I wish you would just leave your icon as one bloody thing. Like, for me, how I know I'm talking to you is because I just noticed there's one person on my Discord who changes the icon like every day or something, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I know it's you. So, like, when I get a message from someone, I'm like, who the frack is this? And it's right.
Well, I can tell you that I actually changed it mostly for the podcast as a joke, but I actually changed it to this one because I brought up in the last podcast, and for those of you who are listening on post and not on YouTube, or listening from some other podcast site or whatever app, I'm currently wearing that helmet that I told you that we have in Black Desert, and it's actually my character wearing it. So I dyed it to make it look a little bit like Goblin Slayer, but he basically looks like Goblin Slayer. I don't know if you could see the resemblance.
You are such a weeb. Like, the fact that you watch anime and then you go and like your character, you make all your characters in your game. I would
do it. Okay, no, ain't nothing.
It's not just Goblin Slayer. You do it most of the time. Like you literally every time you see an anime that you like. Oh, sure. You're like, I can make my character look like that in BDA. Just like, I'll go video.
I didn't make character look like this. I was actually thinking about trying to make Rebecca from Cyberpunk in the lovely character in fucking video.
And in response to the comment, he would say kinky stuff about himself. That's what he's like, you know. He will. He wants stuff like that. Also, if you're enjoying the podcast, please leave a like and share it. We appreciate it a lot. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You know, that way you can catch us every Wednesday and on Sunday. You know, for 2 hours of fun with us. talking about anime.
2 hours of torturing me.
So we can finally start talking about this anime, right?
Yeah, let's start talking about it.
Okay.
We're going on.
All right. So here's the thing, right?
Right.
that's like my catchphrase apparently. Here's the thing. You see this anime, right? This anime Goblin Slayer. So I watched all the episodes, and I want to say I'm going to start with my rating for it first. Goblin Slayer to me.
You want to start with the rating? Oh,
yes. This is how confident I am in my rating, and there's a reason why I'm starting with the rating, because I'll explain a little further down in the episode.
You don't want to milk the views and have people listen and be like,
nah, there's something coming. There's something coming. So if you think the rating is the most important thing, it is not. There's more to come, right?
Okay.
But anyway, there's something that is going to essentially make the whole rating thing to those who hear the rating first. It's gonna make their brain sort of like wobble or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Anyway, the point is, it's an 8 out of 10 for me, right? Goblin Slayer I rated it on my anime list, which 8 out of 10 on the my anime list is a very good anime. It's not great and it's not a masterpiece. 9 is great and 10 is a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece and it's not great, but it is very good, right? 8 out of 10, really, really good. From episode 1 to episode 12, loved it. Enjoyed the anime, great stuff, la-di-da, and swiddle to that. All right. The final episode, I really enjoyed the final episode. Episode 12 was probably my favorite episode, because I found episode 10 to be a bit slow, because that was the episode where he was just sort of like spending time with his childhood friend and, you know, remembering stuff from the thing. He wasn't even like fighting anything or anyone. It was just kind of lame.
Right.
So, essentially, like with episode 11 and 12, it started to hype back up again. That's when they started battling, and they were gonna go fight this huge goblin horde and stuff. Cause like a goblin, what do they call it? Like a goblin lord or something.
I actually don't remember what they called it.
I think it was a goblin lord. I think that's what they call it, goblin lord.
There's the warlords, right? And then there's the champion, which is even bigger.
The champions are the giant ones, but the hobgoblins are like a little bit bigger than the regular goblins. And I think the one that they fought at the end, the big bad one who was like leading them, I think that's the goblin lord. The one who was like talking and like begging for his life and shit. That was a really exciting episode, because one, we got to see all the characters from the guild using their abilities and fighting and stuff like that, which was cool to see. It was really nice to see each of the characters like, you know, flexing and stuff, and you know.
Can I touch on one thing on that just real quick?
Yeah,
I like that. What I like about that is, you know how we were talking about Naruto and stuff real quick, like just all about like how the character build up. I like that we see these characters throughout the show, but we never see them really fight, except for like the 1 or 2 people that we've seen. And then we finally, like, we're like, oh, this dude he's like a guts character. He has like a big sword. And then there's the guy with the pole arm who has like, you know, he sounds like, for me, I was joking with the boys I was watching it with. He sounds like a young Donald Trump, the guy with the ponytail and who was with the witch chick and the witch chick. But I like that they showed all these characters and then they finally show them fighting, you know, so they weren't just, you know, instead of like, you know, other anime would just be like, I need a friend, oh, we'll help you. Kind of like, you know, like Konosuba, where they're like, oh,
Konosuba is very just like jokey, essentially, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like other anime do it as well. It's like, I need a friend. Like even parts of Naruto was like that, where it's like you go to a village and they needed help, and then like all the other villagers would start like doing stuff that they could do. Maybe they're not ninja, but you know, they could like, I'll build a dam, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then Naruto's like, oh man, all these people actually want to help and be, you know, decent human beings. But I just wanted to touch on that. Like I think that was a good touch. So I feel
human beings aren't decent in general. That's what makes it unrealistic. You know, people just don't help people unless there's something in it for them. And that's what Goblin Slayer taught us. They got something out of it, and then they did it. They were offered money. You know.
You know, some of them before even all that though, they did actually sign up before the money though.
Oh no, I get that, but you know, like it took a bit of persuading, because they all used to like jab on Goblin Slayer about how, you know, all he hunts is goblins and how is he level 2 or whatever, you know, rank silver or whatever he is. And then Goblin Slayer showed them like literally. And one of the things I like about Goblin Slayer the most is the fact that it's a very intelligently written anime, in the sense of like his plans that he comes up with, his strategies and stuff like that. Because he isn't like the best fighter, you know, like Goblin Slayer isn't perfect. Like he's not like he's not dodging every attack. He gets hit a lot and gets injured a lot. He's constantly getting healed. He gets smacked around by enemies. Sometimes he slips up in battle and stuff like that. But that's only when it's something that he hasn't calculated for. But Goblin Slayer is kind of like Batman, but for goblins, you know. It's like he plans for the goblins, and he's got every sort of contingency in mind for the most part. And he's like always a couple steps ahead of everyone when it has to do with goblins. But generally speaking, he gets his ass handed to him a lot. there's sections of the show where he's literally like almost incapacitated, and his team have to like they're getting beat up or they're getting snatched by goblins and stuff, and then he heals himself and then he comes back in. He has those sort of like bottles that he just like takes a potion and then he's back in the battle. Yeah. But the thing is that the fact that he gets beaten up every now and then tells me enough that he's not a perfect like you look at Kirito from like
I haven't seen Sword Art Online, but yeah.
But Kirito from Sword Art Online, the guy is perfect. He's like, he doesn't get beat up by anyone really. Kirito is just he's god level essentially. Like he's leveled up to the point where he's broken strong. Or that time I reincarnated as a slime. Slime is like that, right? There's certain characters who they're just really just super strong, and then there's some characters who are intelligent, like who's all about strategy, and it's all about trying to figure out, when you're watching the anime, trying to figure out what they came up with before the show shows it to you.
Boy from
Classroom of the Elite, or like Dr. Stone.
Ayano Koji.
Yeah, like Ayano Koji
I actually have to watch Dr. Stone. I've been really wanting to watch that.
Dr. Stone is a favorite of mine. I do like Dr. Stone actually.
That's the one where everyone is turned to stone, right? Then he wakes up and then he's
in a land of primitive waifus, primitive waifus. Yes, it's very badly.
I don't know about that. We'll talk about that after, and because we don't want to spoil it too much, in case we do plan to watch it at some point. And
we definitely cover Dr. Stone, hands down. Like I think there's a new season coming, so we definitely gonna be covering Dr. Stone if I do chase you myself. But yeah, I would say he is. I like the intelligent writing from episode 1 to 12. It's really like it keeps you thinking throughout the episode. You're wondering what's gonna happen next and all that kind of stuff. Especially those last 2 episodes when they were fighting the Goblin Lord.
Yeah.
And the whole time everyone's battling and they're doing their stuff. And then the whole time I'm thinking like, where the frack is Goblin Slayer? Like they're all out fighting and kicking booty cheeks in and all that kind of stuff. And he's nowhere to be seen. And then you get, it cuts to the point where eventually in episode 12, you have his fight. And he's fighting the Goblin Lord. He's chasing him down, and he just walks out because at the end of episode 11, he kind of walks out, smoking coming off of his helmet and the glow in his eye and stuff like that. And then they continue from episode 12, where he's literally like ready to fight this guy, and he's fighting the Goblin Lord and stuff like that. And I kind of expected him to like win that fight effortlessly, like not even break a sweat.
Yeah, you mean because of like because it's like the other dude is just like a lord controlling others, and he probably doesn't have any combat prowess himself. You mean?
I didn't think that. I just figured like it's Goblin Slayer. He's gonna be stronger than this Goblin. Okay. Like I was like, he's gonna like if he's fighting like a Leviathan or something, yeah, he's probably gonna get his ass handed. But I was like, he knows about these goblins' life. Like he came 1-on-1, and he was like, oh, you're going to your lair? Like I've already killed all the goblins in your lair. Let's roll. Like so, I figured like he was ripped, ready to like just end this dude. And what happened is that he got wrecked. Like he fought the goblin, and then he sort of like got knocked down. And I'm like, what the frack is going on here, Goblin Slayer? I was like, is he gonna get beaten up by this stupid little goblin dude? And then you have Priestess Girl come out. She comes in and she's like, she casts a spell of like protection, and I'm like, kissing my teeth like bullshit. Why is she here protecting him? He's Goblin Slayer. He's supposed to be fighting and shit.
She wasn't in a fight though, so you kind of knew that they were. I figured right, like Goblin Slayer was just gonna handle this goblin by himself. Last episode of the anime, it's gonna be so cool, awesome, and shit like that. And then he's getting beaten up by this orc. So I'm like, what the frack is going on here? Sorry, this goblin. I'm like, what the frack is going on here? Right? And then she comes in to save him. And I'm like, what the frack? It's Goblin Slayer. Honey, it's not Priestess. That's not the name of the bloody anime. Why is she here? But then, that's the key part about Goblin Slayer that I like. She then uses her spell and locks the goblin into a place, and he can't move, and then Goblin Slayer stabs him. Finishes him off. And then you find out this was all a part of his plan. In a tactical way, though. You have to point that out.
That's the point I'm getting to, is that as it was the whole point, I'm sort of like building the suspense to this whole sort of thing, essentially, like the anime did. So this is what I was thinking when I was watching it. But then when he finishes off the goblin, and then she's like, how did you know to do this? And how did you? And she was like, this was all a part of his plan. Like he he planned to get fall over to throw off the goblin, and then let the goblin think he's gonna finish him, and then have her come out of nowhere and do the shield thing to lock the goblin into place. This was all a part of his plan, and to me that was genius level. I was like, wow, like that is what I love about Goblin Slayer. I love the fact that his character is so intelligent, and he always seems to be a step ahead of the curve. Like, he always seems to be ahead of everyone else. He knows what's going on, and he doesn't have to he's brilliant. I like his character for that. Like, I like Goblin Slayer. I like the anime that it's intelligent. Unlike for example our anime, what do you call it? Frack. What's the name of the one with Classroom of the Elite?
Oh.
Unlike Classroom of the Elite, where it's intelligent, but sometimes it could be a bit slow. Goblin Slayer is intelligent, but it's also just high octane action. Like he's always doing something. And I love that. It's
gory too as well.
It is bloody gory as hell. But Goblin Slayer is brilliant. So hands down, it's an 8 out of 10 for me with that. That's all I wanted to say so far. I have more to say, but the more I have to say has to do with the movie. So I'll just give you time to talk about your opinions on the anime. So like you could share your lubblers with the world, you know.
I'll run it back from like
the world.
Yeah. So for me, I was actually expecting more from the disappointment. From what you told me at episode 9, if you guys you guys can retort, from episode, or as Samuel Jackson likes to say, allow me to retort. I was expecting a little bit more, but her staying, because you mentioned that was a big thing. Because when you said that on the podcast, you had me like,
what did I say on the podcast last time again?
You said that you didn't like Cowgirl, or AKA Farm Girl, because she did some dumb shit. And I was like, the whole episode, I was watching it and thinking,
I forgot about that.
You had me beating from my heart, bro. Like, I felt my heart in my stomach and in my neck at the same time. I don't know, like I felt it somewhere, but not where it should be. And I was thinking, is this freaking dumbass gonna die? Is that how they're gonna end Goblin Slayer? Like the first season? Is she dying? Is she getting like? And then she says, and then we will go through the episode. Long story short, and then she says, I want to stay. So if I had watched it without you saying that, I think I would have taken it differently. I'd have been like, okay, I'm siding with her, a little bit. But then I remember how you were so upset, and I thought about it from like a cute perspective. I thought, you're actually dumb as shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
Leave,
like she put his life at risk. Like, he's lost his sister and everything, and he's telling her like, get out of there, bitch. Save them teddies for tomorrow. And she's like, nah, fam, I'm gonna stay right here. And then everybody else has to stay back and fight for this farm. Like, literally, right? They have to stay back and fight for this farm. Now, at the end of the day, did it work out? Yes. But let's just say, for example, Goblin Slayer did not get anyone else to come and help him out. He would have died because of her stubborn bullshit. Like, to me, I was like, this is dumb.
Do you don't think he would have done a lot of killing? Like I'm talking like
he would have slaughtered a lot of goblins, but he would have lost that battle. Like, against that many goblins and a goblin lord, he would have definitely lost the battle. Like, he could, because remember, he didn't have a lot of time. Like, if he had to fight, and he said it himself, if I'm fighting them in their lair underground, I'll win.
It'll be easy. Yeah.
Because the fact is that he's accustomed to fighting them in close quarters. His equipment is set for that. In open space, they can surround him. In a cave, he can basically make sure he can't get surrounded. He can plan for that. He can strategize for that. But in an open space area, he gets surrounded and overwhelmed by having too many goblins around him. So, because if you notice, a lot of what he does is he plans for stuff. Like, literally, almost everything Goblin Slayer does.
Yeah, that's what I brought up. I was gonna say that he if you take him, like, let's say if you were to put him in a game like an RPG, right? It feels like he has the main character, like, how the main character, like the character you are playing, is always like able to win battles, like in, like, let's say in Pokemon, you're always able to beat the gym leaders eventually, or XYZ, take any character, any game, whatever. And I feel like Goblin Slayer is that, where he still loses, he needs to heal, and they're pushing that RPG trope kind of thing on him very well, in my opinion. He is a warrior after all, to a degree. And they like other RPG tropes, like the RPG RPG tropes, like the paladin chick, she also like, you know, literally says, yeah, I'm a paladin, you know, like, so they're very, you know, they're very pushing that RPG aspect. But for him, he has that kind of like, you know, like he's outside, like on a mental game, he's outside, like thinking about it from like I can just wiki up how to deal with goblins or what kind of tactics I need to use. And he uses like in-game logic. Oh, sorry, he uses out-of-world logic that in-game characters don't use. For example, asking how to make the ice cream, you know, just like something simple like that, right? Like, and then the priestess, or is it, I think it's the priestess. She's like, oh, that's why he knows how to do all these things, because he just simply goes to people and asks them. Like other adventurers, they're just like, I'm a warrior, I'll swing my sword, herder. And this dude is coming out here like the fucking, like, bro, he's like the Batman of the fucking RPG characters, bro. Like it's like you choose warrior, priest, mage, Batman, and then Goblin Slayer just choose Batman, like straight up, you know. She's like, fuck y'all, I'm going my own class. I can do fucking this, I can do that. He's kind of like the character in what's his name from Konosuba? I keep forgetting his name. Kazuma,
yeah. Kazuma is also like a smart character. He is a smart character. Yeah.
They both do that thing, which I'm not trying to link the anime together or trying to say too much on Konosuba, but Goblin Slayer does that. You know, he does some logical like using the mirror, for example, like the whole building, like the thing is collapsing on them, and the mirror literally transports. You know, it's like a portal, right? It transports stuff no matter how heavy it is.
Yep.
If it falls through, it goes through like it's a door, right? So you have this character, and he's building traps. And the sickest part was I was watching this with a friend, actually with two friends, and he was like, "Why are they all like they know all these things?" I'm like, and I'm sitting, I'm thinking like, "Yeah, you guys, you know," because one of them came in at episode 9, right? He started watching it, but I'm like, y'all don't know that, you know, this dude, he's all about that freaking like prep plan. You know, he got plan B, C, and D ready to go. You know what I mean? So he's all ready to go. He had those wooden spikes. He had all that like extra prep. He even knew that he wouldn't be able to beat them because he already told everyone that, you know, he would lose. But, you know, what surprised me is that he didn't get much money, but that also wasn't surprising. He didn't take the heads of all the goblins that he killed in the base. He also knew where the base was, so it was like a reason why he was not in the anime, even though he's the main character. But it was really hype. It was really built up well. And he even said he didn't know how to fight a goblin lord, but he knew what they were. So it was like, oh damn, you know. And we bet a goblin paladin as well, which he also fought, but I don't think he ever fought one as well. And he had some clear flaws. I think this we're gonna get into the movie later, but there was something with the Avalanche I was going to bring up, but we'll talk about it after.
We will talk about the movie after. I'm waiting and ready.
But yeah, so I think for me, if you sit and watch Goblin Slayer, make sure you watch the movie. For anyone listening to this in post and you haven't seen the movie, obviously we're going to talk about the movie, so spoilers on that as well. If you haven't watched the movie yet, definitely watch the movie. The movie was great. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long or something. I don't think, maybe not even like that. Maybe it was just like an hour long. Has some great story on that, but I'll let Q break that down for you guys right now. Here you go, Q.
Okay, so now we're talking about the movie.
We can talk about anything we want. You know.
Okay, so about the movie, right? So remember my rating on Goblin Slayer, right? Goblin Slayer was an 8 out of 10 for me. Goblin Slayer, the movie, which is called Goblin Slayer, Goblin's Crown, is a 4 out of 10 for me, right?
Damn.
It is, and on the IMDb scale, that is a bad show. It's underneath average. It's not even 5. It is underneath average for that. So,
oh my lord,
you've got on the Man Miller scale, it's appalling, which is 1. 2 is horrible. Right. 3 is very bad. 4 is bad. 5 is average. 6 is fine. 7 is good, and so forth and so forth and so forth. This is a 4. It is bad, and here's why it's bad for me.
Did you give it a 4 again? Sorry.
All of the intelligent stuff that I liked about Goblin Slayer, like the anime itself, were not there in this. Like there was no big battle plan and strategy. None of that. There's only one sort of like sort of peak big brain moment where with the whole rings. That was the only thing in that whole episode, that whole movie. That was like, yeah.
There was one thing else.
What was the other thing?
He called out what the adventurers were going to do before, like he called out that they were going to starve out the goblins.
That wasn't enough for me. Like to me, that was like that just seems common sense. Like again, for Goblin Slayer, it's supposed like he's such a big brain character. It's sort of like big brain characters are supposed to think in a certain way that no one else is supposed to even be able. Like anyone on his team could have figured that shit out. As far as I was concerned, like the dumbest person on his team would have probably figured that out given enough time. Goblin Slayer is supposed to be so smart that they should be at the end of the thing baffled, like, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's gonna happen, right? And not just that too, is like the way in which it's presented. The like that character that they took with them, the girl. How in the hell? Like, there are two things about her character that pissed me off. One, they didn't explain anything after. Like, she got this curse mark or whatever they branded her. It lit up at some point when she was around the goblins and she started screaming and blah blah blah. It hurts, la di da. Nothing came of it, unless of course she's reintroduced in season 2, and it makes sense as to like literally there was no sort of like. It was a big build up to something happening and nothing happened.
Can I ask, do you want her in the next season? Like, do you think she's going to be in the next season? And do you want her in the next season?
For to make this worth my time, yes. I do want. I don't want her in the next season because I think she's a good character. I want her in the next season because it annoys me that this doesn't make any sense. It's like
maybe something with the mark. Maybe like in the future, maybe she can feel like another Goblin Paladin.
No, I kind of was expecting her to turn into a goblin or something. Like I expected that they had like put some kind of spell on her, something, or maybe she would turn on them and attack people. Something. I was expecting something to happen once she was around the goblin, because they were talking about how they use the god of green or whatever they call it and all that kind of stuff, the green planet god and all that kind of shit, and it was like some amazing spellcaster or whatever had put this thing on her. So I expected some magic shit to happen. All she did was scream out of nowhere when she got close to them. And then they went and they killed all the goblins. That was it. I was like, this is dumb. Like, what the fuck? Like, she did nothing. And there were no consequences to her just screaming out of nowhere. Like I find like, she was a stupid character. I didn't think that she added. I felt like you remove her from that movie and it would still be fine. Like you could have done it with all the other girls that they had. Like she was an unnecessary addition to the movie. Right. And then not just that too as well. She literally was pretty much just an asshole. Like she
was rude to Thingy as well, right? The elf chick, I think.
She was rude to them. She insisted that they take her, even though she's useless as frack. Like literally, all she had was one spell at the end of it that brought the avalanche. And don't fool yourself into thinking that she was the only one that could have done that. Literally, almost anyone else on Goblin Slayer's team could have done that. Like with the what do you call her? The girl with the priestess could have done it. Dragon Boy could have done it. The dwarf could have done it.
The dwarf definitely would have.
He would definitely would have. And the thing is that even if you want to say, oh well, they were out of spells, you would think if Goblin Slayer was just rolling with his squad, right? You think he wouldn't have like factored in that and told them like, hey, don't use no more blood clot spells until I say so, because that is exactly what he does. He straight up is like, look. Hold them spells until I tell you, right? You hold them spells. And that's what happens. They're like, okay, Goblin Slayer, we hear you, buddy. Say, you let me know when I could use my spells for your help.
Big brain thing though. Remember when he told her to use 3 barriers on the Goblin Lord? Sorry, running back on a little bit on the episode 12. And he was like, why didn't you use the third one? I was wondering, where the fuck would she use it?
He was probably thinking she would use it to maybe to put it on top, or maybe I don't know where he was thinking to put it. Maybe to put another one in between them or whatever. But it was a good thing she ignored him, because she wouldn't have been able to heal him if she had used, because she only has like 3 spells at that point, so she'd have been screwed.
You know what I love with her, and not with her specifically, but with Goblin Slayer, is that they didn't give her a fucking like Sakura, just like, I'm just there to be Goblin Slayer's main cheerleader. I'm actually useful. Like she's actually been useful. Actually useful.
Yeah, she is actually useful. She was annoying me at first at the beginning of the series. Like, it really annoyed me with her.
Yeah,
but
I could see that.
As the series has gone on, she is definitely my most favorite useful character with regards to goblins. So like, I could see him wife win her. Like, I could see them being a couple more so than Cowgirl.
Oh,
you know, like, and I say that like canonically speaking, like I wouldn't choose her myself, personally speaking. Personally, you guys know your boy rolling with that elf chick.
She still has the 0%, or she had the 0 freaking votes at the end of the.
She did have 0 votes, but I think if Goblin Slayer himself was picking someone, I think he'd pick her, because I could see like they're getting closer and closer as the series goes along. Like he is getting so close to her. Like even at the end of the movie where they're sitting on the snow and he's by himself, and she, even his so-called, waifu of dreams, the cowgirl, doesn't go out to sit with him in the snow. She's inside in nice warmth, eating with people and shit. She knows where he is and she goes to find him. That says enough. It says enough to know that she went for him and sat down with him.
She took main chick priorities.
She's squeezing that main chick priority. She's like, look, I'm a main waifu here. Y'all other waifus, side waifus.
Yo, right? Listen. All y'all waifus out there, make sure there's no priestess, innocent looking priestess bitch talking to your mans, okay?
They will steal your bandos.
She praising the Lord and she will steal your bandos. She might, I'm a virgin, I'm innocent, sleep next to him a little bit, But even, I'm sure not even cowgirl in the freaking 20 plus years or however long they've known each other has ever stepped to him naked, okay? I'm 90% sure about that, because she's a regular ass waifu bitch. I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, she waifu. And by the way, guys, again, if you're enjoying the podcast, please give us some likes. We need the likes, and we also need you to share the podcast so we can get more people to check this beautiful podcast out. But yeah, she is rolling into that main waifu role. She is doing her best to to sort of give Goblin Slayer his appreciation, and I like that about her. I do like.
What I like about her as well, she actually tries to turn him more human. She's
helping him,
accepting him as Goblin Slayer, but she's also like. She called him out on the ice cream episode, but she's like, if you start talking to, or even like the first time she called him out, she's like, she's kind of like,
learn to talk properly, you blood clot idiot.
Yeah. She's literally like, make sure you do this, make sure you talk to them, make sure you do this. She goes on, she's like, I wish you would spend time. It's like, for him, the best for him, he's happy because everyone else gets to chill inside and be. Normal people, whilst he's out there, thinking about goblins, right? Because if a dragon comes, he can still warn them about dragons, but main target goblins.
Yeah, I like that she is helping him evolve his character. Like he is like he's making her more capable and stuff like that. Because remember, she started off as like a pleb character. Now she's like so useful now, and he's basically helping improve her, make her more capable in a fight, in a battle, that kind of stuff. Obviously, she's a support character, so she plays full support role. She's not really out there like doing any damage for the most part. But the way in which she's improving him is, like you say, to make him more human and sort of like reconnect him with his own humanity, because he sort of like tossed his humanity away after seeing what the goblins did to his sister. So, which is understandable. My guy really like that is mentally traumatizing, if I would have to assume. So for him, it's like, I understand, like, why he wants to kill all the goblins. And I would probably be in the same. I would be thinking about how I can get rid of that whole green planet. Like, if I was Goblin Slayer, I'd be like, look, need to, I know I live in a medieval world and all that kind of leveler, but need to make a medieval nuke. Like, that's what's gonna have to happen. Leveler, let me find medieval Einstein.
An explosion on that motherfucker. I'm just saying.
Somehow I'd find my way in Konosuba's world, and I'd be like, look, let me tell you something, waifu. Let me tell you something.
That'd be crazy, though.
That big green planet that needs to get going,
Yo, Goblin Slayer X Konosuba, where Konosuba like reincarnates into there. What is like, what's our mission? To kill goblins. And he's like, goblins, I deal with like dragons and shit now. You know what I mean? Like, because he's already like, I don't know, I haven't seen.
He's gonna be thinking. He's not even gonna be thinking about that. To be honest, like he's gonna be thinking like, look, how much am I getting paid? Like, I need money, and I want to live comfortable with waifus and shit. Like, nah, fam. Like, I have no reason to do any shit.
He is shallow, right? In the end, I mean, both of them. Yeah, I would say Goblin Slayer is more shallow. Like, he is not. He has depth, but his
depth only has to do with goblins. So like,
depth,
he is.
But it's empty. Good. It's a good depth because you could. I don't know, like I can't see it running like 100 episodes like Naruto or something. Not like that kind of depth, but he has good enough depth where you appreciate him. He has a job need doing, I was gonna ask you if you think, because it's actually in one of my notes here. Do you think we will get? Well, obviously we're getting a season 2. What do you think will happen in season 2 in terms of like?
I could probably just cheat and read the manga, if I wanted to, but
it's already out in the manga.
Well, most manga are ahead of the anime usually. Like,
I mean, like, do you know if it's like ready made?
I don't know if it's already in the manga, but I would have to assume it is because most manga are usually ahead of the anime because they need the manga to make the anime. So, like, they would usually have, like, for example, like One Piece manga is ahead of the anime by maybe, I don't know, like 20 chapters or something like that. Or 20 episodes.
Is that episodes?
Yeah, like I said, about 20 episodes worth of content. One Piece manga is way ahead of it by approximately that, if maybe more. It's the same like when Naruto was airing, the manga was always way ahead of the anime. So like if you were reading the manga like I was.
Yeah, I know about that.
When all your mates were talking about the anime, like, oh, I just saw this thing happening. You know, this guy, Madara, showed up. Oh my God, he's so amazing. You know, for me, I was like... You innocent plebs. Like, I know more about Madara. He's already kicked all them Kage's booty cheeks in. Y'all think he's amazing. Wait till you see what he does next. Yes, level up. You know, have you seen my boy Might Guy? Splendiferousness. Yes. Like,
splendid character.
I was already ahead of, like, and that's the thing about it when it comes to like manga. So like, I would assume with Goblin Slayer, the manga's ahead, and if you wanted to know what's gonna happen next, yes, the manga is probably where you want to go. That being said, if you just want to stick to the anime and you just don't want to spoil it for yourself because maybe you're like me and wouldn't watch the anime after you read the manga, because that's usually what happens with me, I would say
it's pretty much
essentially my guess as to what's gonna happen. What I want to happen and what I think is going to happen are two different things. So what I want to happen is I want them to make the movie canonical and actually make it make sense in the context of the anime. Do I think that's going to happen? Hell no. I think that this movie is like a one-off thing and it's bullshit, right? It's actually no. It says the movie follows an adaptation of the Fifth Light novel, so it's actually it's canonical. Okay, level there. So I think it's going to continue from the movie then. I think
we were talking about the paladin girl a little bit, and like her being useful and or not, like you know, like she wasn't the best
paladin
character.
Girl. Who's the paladin?
The paladin girl is the girl from the movie, the one that gets raped and has the sword. Right, she has that sword.
Oh, bitch ass name character. Yeah, her name is I think they call her Noble. Like her character doesn't even have a bloody name. Like she's literally like Noble Swordsman or something. I think like that's what they label her. I think that
she has a lightning attack.
Noble Fencer. That's what she's called.
Either way, she's. I'm gonna call her paladin girl from now on. Right?
Useless is what I will call her. But God,
hello, useless. It's me. Oh, hi, I'm useless. Not as useless as Sakura, but you know, no joke. What I think with her is, if they do add her, like maybe not season 2. Let's say there's a season that isn't like they haven't written the books yet. I think characters would evolve. I think they might have some depth. Personally, what I would like to see. That's why I'm bringing it up because I think characters might get killed off, but I also think that adding more characters to the group.
I don't want to add it to the group, by the way. Just so you know, like I honestly, I just want them to like flesh out that storyline with that curse on her neck. So like, thing. I want them to make sense of it because the film didn't. You know, it's like the film just it added something in and said, "Hey, this is a thing." But we're not going to tell you what this is. Like, oh, and the film is over. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why did I just waste an hour watching this shit?
I think they have her, and they might add a character similar to her, if not her, because they did talk about like messaging her and then meeting up sometime in the future, kind of like they're hinting at like, you know, if she was just like, okay, I'll see you, bye. Like they would just say, okay, I'll see you, bye. You know, they wouldn't be like, you know, but you know, I do think Konosuba and also Goblin Slayer have this kind of realism to them where they do things that other characters don't, especially the main character, right? And when I say that, I think they would be, if they do bring a character like that, she would be a good character bringer because she does have a lot of lore, but also a lot of lore that is missing, and she has a connection to the main group already because she lost her party, and even though she's not a great character, I think she has. You could have a terrible character that can grow and has room to grow, and the biggest thing is that she's obviously a female character.
Mhm.
And she cut her hair off as well for some weird ass reason. She might, when you might meet her again, she might have her hair back long, or maybe even longer, or still growing. And then there's always the fan service, but for the most part, I think is they'll have a character this, because I don't know if you know this, in RPGs, like in like Western RPGs, I guess mostly like D&D RPGs and stuff, a paladin class is very loved by the fans. And Goblin Slayer
you saying paladin class, like what would make her a paladin really? What's a paladin exactly?
So she's basically like a sword, or like she could use a sword or a mace, for example. And then she's able to use spells for the most part. And the Sword Maiden is kind of like a paladin. The whole time
you're talking about paladin, I'm like, what the like when I think of a paladin, I'm picturing like someone in a big piece of armor. They're like big and strong. They got. That's what I'm picturing, but she's all like small and petite and looks like a little cute little waifu character. So I'm like, paladin what? Like when you said paladin character, I was actually thinking at first, before after a while I figured out who you were talking about, but I was actually thinking about the girl who works in the guild, like with the
someone like that as well.
The big strong.
But what I'm trying to say is they would have her come in and fill that role where people like for example, paladins could use lightning because all their magic is usually like light based. And she's not going to be the new healer, because you could be a paladin and be a cleric and then be a healer, right? If you go into like real deep D&D shit. And I don't play a lot of D&D, by the way, so someone might correct me in the comment section, which is fine. But she would fill that role of like, okay, you will have a new character, she's female, so fan service. There's character growth. There's another waifu that's gonna want to, be together with Goblin Slayer, and they both hate goblins, right? Like she's she is like Shield Maiden, unless they add Shield Maiden, which wouldn't make sense because she already has an establishment, even though she's shown interest in Goblin Slayer. But Shield Maiden's like already a legendary character, so if they bring her along, she's just gonna like go around one-shotting everything except for goblins, which should be petrified of, I guess, maybe. But with this character,
Shield Maiden could never join them because they only hunt goblins, so it would make no sense for her to join them.
Exactly. Whilst I think the Lightning Paladin character in the movie, she is not a high level player or character, or like rank, I should say, and she has room to grow. Like she has room to become like kind of like what Shield Maiden is in the future. Like so, like. When she grows, she'll just end up being kind of like Shield Maiden, where she might be a legendary hero. Because they show a lot of cool side characters who are like waifuable, like that chick with the sword who just jumps in and says, "You're supposed to do that surprise attack." It's not a surprise if you actually just, like that character. She comes in and she's really cool. And none of the other female characters are like that. They're all either healing or ranged. And Goblin Slayer and her can have like this kind of like melee dynamic where, like she's casting spells and she might have a few spells, but like to Goblin Slayer's arsenal. And for me personally, it just makes sense because if you don't know, again, like paladins are very popular. Like I would say one of the most popular. Like so popular that Arthas is a paladin from WoW. So they're like pretty much like you have like the rogue, like the assassin character, the warrior, the priest, and then the paladin is like, I guess, in like the top 4 tropes. So
I would say in this this sort of what do you call it? This anime. I don't think the anime creators consider her a paladin per se. I think because they label her as a fencer specifically, and the way in which I think they're building her character up, I don't see her as that relevant per se. I think like she is. I feel like because I don't think she joins their crew because she's not very likable to begin with. Like at first when she was with her party, at first it seemed like she'd be likable. And then it's not very.
They all started hating her. Yeah.
They also
I think that was a very human thing, though. That was a very like human thing.
But
like,
you maybe that wouldn't happen with me. My party would like me,
No, they wouldn't. Firstly, you're freaking inexperienced. You'd be a terrible party leader.
They would love me.
You'd be like, sorry, I gotta go talk to the kids. BRB, AFK, and all your team just gets wiped back like a.
They'd be like Bando husbando, top tier, yes, dreams.
Yeah, they're all men as well, by the way. Like they're just role playing as girls. MMORPG, many men role playing as girls. Get it?
Zehara.
I think she has lore. I think I'm very optimistic as a person. And I like seeing great ideas because without great ideas, everything would just be very boring and bland, in my opinion. and adding a character like that who is in a movie already. Not to say that just because she's in a movie, it could be her. I'm just saying they could be a paladin trope in the future if they were to ever add another character. Because they added a shaman, which is pretty like very popular, but not as popular as paladin, and they're very similar. And when I say shaman, I mean lizard man, right? He's basically a shaman.
Yes, he is basically a shaman. He's awesome. I like.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. I do think they. I want to know what you think about this, because do you think there'd be any killing off in season 2? Because we brought about like there's the manga.
Nah, I don't think Goblin Slayer is that kind of series, to be honest. I think like off. I think the main sort of like the way in which this series is written, even though it's gory and all that kind of stuff, like if they were gonna start killing off people, you'd have seen it happen in season 1. And they haven't. They didn't kill anyone from the main cast and the supporting cast that they introduced during season 1. That tells me that there's no, like, this is not that kind of series.
Right, I see.
Like that's the impression I get from it, is that it's not that kind of series. Will they have other stuff in the future? Possible, but for now, it doesn't seem like it's the kind of series where they're going to kill off people. At least not yet. So. And I'm fine with that. Like it is very.
I was just thinking from like a gory nature, by the way. That's the only reason I'm thinking of it. Like Goblin Slayer almost dies all the damn time. And other characters like when Elf Girl got that freaking like literal arrow to the knee. I don't know if you know that reference, but she literally got an arrow to the knee. I think was it in the movie or was it in like the regular series? I don't remember. But
she got in the movie. They were in the cave and she got hit.
Right, and you could see how weak. Like as soon as she gets crippled, just like a real archer, she is completely useless. Almost, she's still able to shoot stuff from range, but like her like character trope is agile, fast. It's all about agility, right? Her stats are agility, right? That's literally what it is, and they show that. They literally like prove it. She even says it like, yeah, I won't be able to get around much, but I can still shoot arrows. And it's like she literally like quotes it, like she literally got hamstring, she got shot right in the knee. She's not able to walk around. And I think when it comes to like maybe more seasons, I'm not saying that because I'm not saying it needs to have it. I'm just thinking of it from like the question is like, why am I thinking of it? It's because the way that the show is, I feel like motherfuckers can get clapped at any moment. Like every character in the show, like I'm talking about like the side character, like the ones that helped fought the war, like 2 of them got like clapped. I don't know if you saw that, like from Goblins. And then,
but the thing about those side characters weren't like named side characters. Like they weren't.
Yes.
They weren't.
Yes.
They weren't familiar. Like the people who got clapped, and that's what I noticed about Goblins here. Most of the time, people who get clapped are people who are irrelevant. Like they're introduced just to get clapped. Essentially, they're not like characters who you really like. The characters who all look cool and have like a special name and will dress up in really cool armor. And so even like the girl on in the movie, like she was the best looking character on her whole crew. Everyone else looked like homeless people, right? She was dressed in all this fancy armor and stuff.
They
were
elves. Cool. They were all elves, so old elves
like
as well.
Homeless people, right? And she was she was just like she was proper dressed up. Her character looked proper. Like it looked like a character that you could have in a main quest. Whereas the rest of her crew,
she actually looked like someone that like all the RPG guys would just make. She had like twin pigtails with dyed hair and stuff, and she just looked like, hey, I'm your generic average, like some horny dude just made her like put her in the show. It's like straight up just fucking. Like I can see why you like her.
She's very waifuable. I like her. I like her design. No, yes. Do I like her design? Yes.
From a design perspective, is what I meant to say. Yes.
She has a cute looking design. Do I like her character? No, her character's annoying. It's really annoying to me. But that's the thing, though. Like, I think in general, like the characters that get killed off in Goblin Slayer are irrelevant. Like they're not relevant at all in the slightest. Whereas the characters who are relevant, they live. They survive. They don't get killed off. And that's the key thing I take away from Goblin Slayer, is that if for the characters that will, if you get attached to a character, whether it's the paladin guy or the witch or whatever, I don't see them dying. Because I think if they wanted to be that kind of series, it would have happened during the fight in episode 12. I think it would have happened then.
I think it's going to be something that they should do at the end of the next, like, let's say season 2 comes out, and then they're like, okay, someone gets clapped, maybe someone new joins, but then also someone gets clapped,
I don't see that
because you
happening.
have your favorites, right? Like everyone has probably there's some dwarf fan base out there that's like, oh, the dwarf character is so sick. Oh my god, like it's again, dwarves are very likable as a race and RPG trope standpoint. No, I'm not saying that every anime person is gonna like that just because they might not all play RPGs, but I think a lot of anime lovers do like games, as well to a degree. I could be wrong. Like obviously they're just normal people like anyone else, but they could. I would say a lot of anime lovers are also technically sometimes gamers as well.
Most are probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying it would be cool. It'd be cool if there was like someone got killed off and it's just like, and I wonder if anyone else the next season's gonna kill off, and then it could be like a cliffhanger kind of thing, and it's just like, kind of hyping you up. Because for me, Goblin Slayer needs more than just killing goblins. Goblins is gonna be like,
I think if something like that was supposed to happen, I feel like and I've watched a lot of anime over the years, I feel like if based on this series, it would happen at the end of the series. Because when if you think about it, like for example, let's just take one that we watched recently, like Cyberpunk. They didn't wait till like season 2 or till the end of the season to kill people off. They started killing people early. What's her face brother got killed off. Then they did a couple other characters and so forth, and it just went through killing people. So you already like mentally you can tell that's the type of series it is. Whereas
I did not guess that, honestly, with you. When I watched Cyberpunk, I did not expect. I expected
that 100%. But the thing though is like, then you have series like a Goblin Slayer that's done in a very shonen-y way. In shonen stuff, characters don't usually die that often, and if they do, it's a long build-up before they kill a character off, if anything. Because you find there's a lot of shonen anime where characters get so close to death, and then they just come back every single time. And that's the thing with Goblin Slayer. It does have that very shonen-y trope, and if they wanted to kill someone, that was the time. End of season 1 was the time to kill someone, and they didn't do it. Every character they've killed, which they have killed characters, they're all irrelevant background characters. None of them have any relevance to the story or to the main characters. Like, they serve no purpose. They have the setup characters, like the sister who dies at the beginning. We never get to meet that character, get to know her properly anyway. So we have no attachment to her. But for every character that we've built attachment to, whether it's the witch or the lancer or whoever else, we've gotten to know those characters to a reasonable amount. They're not killing those characters. Like the characters that they could kill, the girl's uncle, he could die. He has good enough background vibe already about him. He barely shows up throughout the episodes. No one really probably cares about him or thinks about him. That's a sort of like an expectable character that you could have killed. But to have one of the main characters or otherwise, nah, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Especially when like Goblin Slayer, like you see constantly they're being put in positions where they can almost die. Like for example, Priestess got bitten from when she got picked up by the champion. If they wanted to, I thought it ate her whole hand off. I was like, holy shit!
Honestly,
like she's gonna get.
I thought it ate her breast or her coochie. I'm sorry,
but
I literally thought he took a bite out of her breast.
I thought it ripped off her whole, like it just swallowed her whole hand, like it ripped its shit off. But then it just turned out that it just bit her like a stupid little bite, and then I was like, this is ridiculous. And that's the thing, like
the way how it looked as well, like how it was really bloody. Like
they made it look really bad, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I thought she was a goner. I thought it was like
I thought she was going to. That's the end of her. But again, that's not the case. I think Goblin Slayer is one of those shows that it shows how to go, but it's that surface level for it in the sense that, oh yeah, you see heads and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have any emotional attachment to it. So it's like, whatever. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit. It's like, the best way I can put it, it's like if you're going
gore
down
just to be gore's purpose, right?
Pardon?
Like it's just gore to be gory. There's no.
Yeah, that is essentially it. But I think the best example I can give for what it feels like watching that. It's like, how most people can like watch telly and see something happen in a different country that you don't live in, right? So like, for example, I can watch the news and they're talking about some country getting attacked or whatever happened, and I don't live in that country and have no attachments, I don't know anyone from that country, I could probably watch the news and be chill about it. Like I'm not gonna be like watching that and sipping a cup of tea and celebrating and get in there, son. But I can watch it and like.
To be fair, we would all do that if Putin was getting
switch off, like switch my brain off and like have no emotional or anything attachment to it, because it's not affecting me in my day to day, and that's usually what happens for most people. It's like it's not affecting you, so it's usually not like you're not emotionally feeling anything about it. You're not crying about what's happening in other countries for the most part. You're usually like okay, but something happens to like maybe a family member of yours, or it's happening in your tongue or whatever have you. You then feel it at that point in time. It's emotional. I think that's the best example I can give with regards to Goblin Slayer. The background characters get killed off, and they're characters, but they're so irrelevant to the viewer that it's like, okay, cool, whatever, keep going. Whereas if they kill off a main character, it would be like, oh my god, it would really hit you. Like if you're watching like a Walking Dead or a Game of Thrones kind of thing. I don't see Goblin Slayer as that kind of series, because if it was, they'd have done it already. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the only thing I would say about it.
So moving on from moving on to like another thing on the future, I guess, is we've kind of touched on it before a little bit, but do you see him? Who do you see him waifuing or settling with? I know you said the priest before, but
still same.
Do you think the showrunners would actually go down that like if you had to like?
I think that is to that point. I think that's where they're going. I mean, why are they taking time to show us him and her all the time and all the other characters? She's the one who's closest to him now and spending most time with him and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, like it doesn't seem like there's any other good match for him, personally speaking. Because even with if you wanted to say the cowgirl, like if they wanted to show that, then she should have been the one. They would have shown a scene with her going out into the snow to sit with him. It wasn't her. They specifically chose to show the priestess,
Yeah.
And even when they got to that town and they were buying equipment and stuff like that, and the guy in the shop was being a total perv to her. Like, who turned up? It was him. Yeah. Right? He turns up and he's like, "Look, make my armor." And he sits down there and starts like working on his sword and everything right there. Like, exactly. when they're out walking and having,
I'll have to weed it off. Yeah,
they're having ice cream and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, she's the one talking to him, and like she's the one making him more human, and she actually calls him on his shit. Whereas most other characters tend to like, okay, whatever, Goblin Slayer, let's do what you say. Whereas she usually would tell, like, if she disagrees, she'd be like, nah, fam, I'm putting my foot down. We're doing this. Like you are going to do
every
this.
Anime. Just real quick, I feel like every anime that has like a bunch of harem, like semi-harem tropes. I wouldn't say it's a harem, right? It's definitely not. But where there's a bunch of waifus like in one character, I want there to be like a porn version of the anime. I'm sorry, like, I know this is we're here to talk about hentai, but like for me, it would just make me feel so much better if I could just be like, so this is Goblin Slayer. Now let me see Goblin Slayer dick, or Goblin that dick Slayer, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. And it's basically Goblin Slayer, and every time it's like. Like the end of mission is just like, right, who am I fucking know? All right, elf chick, let's go.
There are anime like that. I would say. I mean, obviously it's hentai. That's usually hentai, but there are. I think what you would want if you want something like that, then you need to read I would say read webtoons. Like Korean webtoons are like that, which is Korean manga.
Yeah, but I want them to specifically be the same series. But
no, what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. Like with webtoons, you get the whole shagging side of things with the action and the story and everything. The only thing is, webtoons are only now starting to get adapted into anime. So usually right now they're going after at least for me, what I've noticed is they're adapting the action based ones, the ones that don't have a lot of like adult content in it in that sense, but. I could see it happening at some point or the other. I don't know. Maybe it's happened already and I just don't know about it. But I would say if you look at it, you wouldn't find from anime. Straight up, it will just be hentai at that point in time. But I would say if you're looking for something like that and with like you're watching a series that you can get really into and then the character shag, then you want to read a webtoon. And sort of like a simple sort of like what's that word I'm looking for? A shameful plug. You can check out on this YouTube channel here. There are quite a few reviews of some webtoons. And the good stuff. So I would say, yeah, if you want that kind of stuff, read some webtoons. Webtoons are fun.
True shameful display of skill right there. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you, shameful display or not, I love a good webtoon. Like, honestly, do I like a good webtoon. Yeah. Usually, I would read a webtoon.
You actually get me into it, by the way. Just like a little bit.
Oh, you read now?
No. But I have read. Actually, I have read webtoon before, but another friend of mine, she recommended it. I think I told you about it before, but when you talked about it, I was like, yeah, I could see this being really popular and really enjoyable. I do think.
So, like, I tell you about it, it's like, whatever. Your other friend tells you about it, and you're like,
she told me first, and she actually was like reading it at the time, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, I'm reading this up to right now, and it's very.
There are quite a lot of I think she's into Korean pop culture, isn't she? She's like a K-pop girl.
I'm not close friends with her, so I wouldn't know, but yeah.
Because usually a lot of people who are into all that K-pop and Korean stuff, they usually get into webtoons, because it is like Korean comics essentially, and they have a lot of them that are like tailored towards female audiences. So the content is very much like the kind of stuff that you have, like for example, like what do you call those sort of games again? There are these games that are just specifically targeted towards women. They're called I'm forgetting them. I've actually had some reviews of them before.
Like Sims, sort of like.
It's not like the game. It's a dating sim, but it's like a reverse harem. So it's a bunch of guys, one girl. You play as the girl, kind of storyline, like visual novel stuff. But there's a name for that genre, and I'm drawing blank for it. And I should know the name of the genre. Anyway, that's beyond the point. There is a genre for it, and I think. A lot of females saying, by the way, who like on the Goblin Slayer thing, I meant like fans. Like it could just be like not even the same. It could be like fans made it. Like they should be. I wouldn't watch that. Like
there should be like a group of people out there who are just like like they already have like Naruto hentai and fucking any character, probably Cyberpunk as well. Like obviously Cyberpunk is already like has hentai in it, but spoiler by the way. When you see some Cyberpunk hentai, just watch Cyberpunk. But I just mean like. There should be like a genre that is like really popular that like has an agreement with the main showrunners, and they're like, yo, can we make a scene with them just like doing this? And then they'll be like, no, we don't want it, it'll be banned, and they could just do it illegally. Or it could just be like another company that's like actually legitimate, making like hentai versions of certain anime. Not every anime. I don't want to, maybe like I don't know about Bleach, for example, or whatever, but like some anime need it, some anime just,
I think you have to consider the fact that a lot of these anime are licensed by a lot of different companies, and like even if we just consider Goblin Slayer, for example, Goblin Slayer is an anime under their licensing. You've got Sony Pictures inside there. You've got ATX. You've got White Fox. You've got Funimation on there. You've got quite a lot of big name companies, and when you have a lot of these companies are not like, once they're licensing something and their name is on there, their branding, they're not gonna have a hentai of it just like that.
I understand.
So those sort of stuff will be protected under those sort of because those sort of companies are associated with it essentially,
and they're trying to just make kid content or
they do tend to. I wouldn't say like they're trying to make kid content, but even like in Japan, when you consider like if you've ever watched any Japanese adult content, they usually censor in the adult content, so you're watching adult content, but there's like a censorship blur on certain aspects of the person or the character or whatever have you. Which to me is like,
coochies are censored. Okay, every Japanese girl, you go to Japan, you meet a girl, you take off her clothes, you're about to do it, you pull out you pull out the weapon, and then she pulls on her panties, and then boom, it's censored. It's like a cubicle. When you stick your dick in there, your dick also gets censored, and then your dick for the rest of your life. I have a few friends, they show me their dicks, I can't even see it because it's a fucking cubicle blur. I swear to God, bro. If you're into that kind of shit, if you want your dick or your whatever getting censored, go to Japan. Straight up.
You're an idiot.
I've seen it in real life and in person. Okay, I've seen those censored motherfuckers.
I'll take your word for it. But the thing with it is that, like, essentially, because of the fact that I think all of those factors involved, I don't think you would see something like that for a series like a Goblin Slayer. Like that's originally just like a manga from like like if you consider where Goblin Slayer, the original manga, is from, the light novel or whatever have you. Like the publisher and everything like that. There's no way that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that would happen for that series. I think, as I say, like you would have to just get a hentai. Like it would straight up just be a hentai, and then that would be what you would be. That'd be the only way to sort of like get that kind of thing, essentially. And
when I said kiddie thingy, I didn't actually mean like kiddie. I meant like there's adult topics, but those companies. I know what you're saying, by the way. They don't want to break into the porn industry, just like
they shy away
like
from
Twitch. Yeah. Like they keep that for the porn industry, and then they try to separate those things because as soon as they touch into it, they're labeled as like that kind of company, So. Yeah,
which is I guess,
nothing wrong with it, but yeah,
it is what it is. But for me personally, like I don't care to see hentai for shows that I like. I think if a show is made and it's adult and that's what it is, it's rated 18 or whatever. Like I like that kind of anime. Like the thing is, if I'm going to watch an anime and there's an uncensored version, I want to see the uncensored version. I don't want to see a censored version of an anime. But am I going out there to am I thinking like, oh, what if someone makes two of my favorite characters shag? Now I'm much more into the whole will they won't they kind of feel of it. Like I like shipping characters. I like the idea of like, oh, like, will he like make the move or not? Like watching the series and waiting for it kind of stuff. Granted, I have a weakness for romantic comedies, so like that's probably where it comes from. But yeah, essentially like
you're the woman in the relationship.
Possibly not. I'm a band of dreams, son. What are you talking about? Anyway, so yeah, that's the gist of it essentially. Like, yeah, I don't think that would happen, but if it does, for in some warped sort of like alternate reality, then cool. We'll see when it happens, if it happens. So yeah.
Yeah. So your scores again, just so I can remember your scores for the show, because I understood you said
the movies are 4. The series is an 8. So I like the series a lot. The movie I hate. I think the movie is shit. Right. Like I hate the movie not because like I hate the animation or the voice acting. Like all those stuff are just the same as in the series. What I can't stand about the movie is that it basically takes all of the elements of the series and then makes them shit. Like it just doesn't do enough with it, Doesn't
do justice. It
doesn't do justice to what the series did. So for me, I find the movie to be lackluster, and I felt myself wanting like not more of the movie, but wanting a better movie. Like I was like, they could have done better with this, because after I was finished, I was sort of like, was that it? Okay, then cool. So yeah, that's essentially it.
Right, I see.
Anything else for you?
Yeah, for me, I think if I had to rate the movie myself, God, well, you see, the thing is, I wanted to initially give it maybe even a 10 or like a 9.5, and if I had to round it off, I would say a 9, right? So, gets a 9.5 or a 9 overall. Like the show as overall, like including like if I take both the movie and the show, you kind of like, I guess you kind of persuaded me to change my opinion on some stuff. Like my start of Goblin Slayer, just rewatching Goblin Slayer, I felt like it really felt like something that I just I got into it. I really wanted to watch it. I just didn't, like I told you from the start, right? Like on episode 1 on the previous episode. Guys, you guys need to go watch that episode, by the way, if you haven't. Because we do talk about a lot of different stuff in that episode for those listening in post. But the thing with the show is I like this depth. The depth is taking me from surprise because I brought this up before with other shows, right? Where you go into a show, you're going to Transformers movie, like my friend with the Transformers or my other friend with the Jurassic Park. And basically, what ended up happening is like people would be like, oh, of course it's Michael Bay and explosions, and then like what the fuck are you doing in the movie for? Go watch some fucking documentary or something instead. If you want some big brain sciencey shit, go watch
documentaries are brilliant, No,
I'm not saying that, but like don't go watch Transformers, which is a kids movie, and expecting a bunch of fucking big brain shit. We're there to see robots beat the shit out of each other. We're there to see fucking Michael Bay blowing off his explosions and coming. We're there to see Megan Fox and her beautiful face. Like you know what I mean? Like you're not there to fucking have a big brain moments. And when I watch Goblin Slayer, like that's what I want, and it fulfills that for me. I like the gore. I like watching that goblin get chopped in half, like halfway through his head, and his eyes are like popping off. Like there's so much gory stuff that is like, you look at it, you rewatch it, you're like, God damn. Like there was that scene where they like did the whole slow motion thing. And sorry, I'm going on a little tangent here, but there's so much I like about the show that for me, and why I can give such high rating, and everyone's thinking, oh, freaking Rare, man. He's always giving every show high rating. We're gonna do fucking the Dora the Explorer episode, fucking the anime, and then he's gonna give out of 10 too, because then I'm like, well, I watch it with my daughter, and it's a show for kids, and I can't hate on it, but there was too much fucking singing, and you know what I mean, or whatever.
Top 10, like, top tier kids show is everyone knows is Bluey. Like if you're not ranking Bluey as best kids show, you're a crazy person.
It's so bad I never heard of it.
Wow.
Anyways,
you don't
back
have
to Goblin
Disney+,
Slayer. We ain't talking about no
fuck
fucking kids shows, but back to Goblin Slayer. Fuck that and other shit. Right. So for me, Goblin Slayer, I want to give it a 10. I really do, because
give it a 10 then. What's holding you back?
No, because you brought up some valid points. I think your points, even though I don't think it should influence me, it made me rethink about a few things. There was some character flaws, but I feel like if I could go back and give Cyberpunk, I'm not going to say the rating I gave Cyberpunk, but if I can change Cyberpunk's rating, I would actually lower it a bit, just because I actually thought Goblin Slayer was like, I won't say it was a better show. Cyberpunk hit me on like so many levels, right? So I don't know how I can rate something, because people are gonna be like, bro, you give that a 10, you give that a 10, and those anime are dog, bro. You should see this anime, bro, because I'm a big brain anime nerd, and you really play Black Desert Online, and you're a stinky poo-poo head, and I am the superior anime lover because I've seen all the waifu titties. I can judge them just by looking at them. I can tell what kind of bust size, what kind of like number and fucking like letter they're on. Okay, so I know my anime like I know my boobas. Okay, and I'll just be like, listen, shut your whole mouth, okay? Let me rate shit 10 if I like it, okay? And I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because I can. All right, so it gets an official 9.5 from me.
What's that? I can't give it. I don't get this half rating that people like. Like, just go all in, like don't halfway stuff. Just go all in. Either you like it or you don't.
Look, I love it. Okay, could there be more depth? Yes. Could there be killing of characters? I like that. Yes. But for what it is and the potential of me wanting to watch more, it's up there. I think it's even better than one of our previous anime that we went over, Chainsaw Man. I think it's actually better than that, But the thing is, it lacks in flaw in terms of, well, I shouldn't say it lacks, but the fact that Goblin Slayer is only really going to be about killing goblins, and I can't see a future. This is like, how I would put this anime is the perfect 1 to 3 season anime. They either make 1, 2, or 3 seasons of it. They're 12 episodes each. They're not going to make any like long-winded, big brain, long-winded anime like some other anime. Sorry, I had to kind of burp there. But I think it's good for what it is. Like as soon as it's over, if they all die at the end, that'd be great. If they all live at the end, that'd be great. If they, if your waifu is one of the characters, that'd be great. If Cowgirl is secretly a goblin, that'd be great. That'd be great. If they do whatever, well, I forgot who you said it might be a goblin, but whoever, like
the girl, the Lancer girl.
If the Lancer girl becomes a goblin, she joins them and she's actually a goblin paladin. That'd be great. Whatever. I'm down for all kinds of shit. I want to see more. I want to see more goblins getting killed. I think the subplot of goblins is like the subplot of Pokemon catching in Pokemon. You watch it for the lore. Yes, the Pokemon are great. You get to see them evolve and stuff, but you get to see like Ash on his adventures, right? And meet Dawn and all this. I think adding characters and taking out characters, they don't always have to die. That could be a way to grow the show, if you know what I mean. So that's why I brought up the whole future of Goblin Slayer, because for me, I want to see more. I love Goblin Slayer. I love how he's tactical. I love that he has weakness, because I like weakness in my characters. And I think he's very busted for what he is, but he is very and considering that he is a warrior character, a warrior type, I guess. And I love that they really, and maybe you guys might not see it in chat, but I'm pretty sure someone in post might see it, but really push that, and I bring it up a lot, but they really push that RPG. They really push like that first character, the fighter girl who got raped. She was like, don't worry, I'm a close quarters fisting character, like she's about to fist these motherfuckers, and like they push it. They clearly push it. So for me, there are not many anime like this, and that's why it gets such a high rating. If I had to round it off, I think it's better than Konosuba as well, to be honest. To be honest with you, like straight up, so I'll actually give it a 10. I'll give it a 10. I would give it a 9.5. Yeah,
10
I'll
it
give
is,
a
you know.
in regards to just the movie, I see there's some flaws. There was this big brainy stuff. The stuff that you said. I find him surviving the avalanche. I felt underplaying an avalanche like that is not good. Like, motherfuckers out here gonna be thinking they can fucking take a snowboard and just surf down an avalanche and be all willy
I
dilly.
don't
Like,
think
those
anyone's
are fucking
thinking that. I think
no, but
the
you
whole
know,
it's Goblin Slayer, it's anime. Like, okay, the whole thing about him surviving the avalanche and all that kind of stuff. Like, to me, it's like these guys are. He's wearing big heavy armor, or at least his armor is light enough. But
yeah,
he's wearing armor and he's running down a hill, you know, while slicing goblins in half and all that kind of stuff, and they're casting spells and all that kind of shit. Like, to me, I'm like, look, this is RPG shit. My guy is gonna be much stronger than a regular schmegly person, you know, and he could do that kind of stuff, you know, like. Yes, did I even?
It's just a pet peeve.
I don't know. I'm with you. Like, when I saw him buried in the snow, I was like, oh god, he's gonna pop out just like that, and it's like that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, that wasn't bothering me as much as the shit that was bothering me about the fact that I was like, is that it? You know, I was underwhelmed by that point in time. But yeah,
essentially, the big bad, and he got impaled, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he basically
the paladin. Goblin.
Well, he wasn't a paladin. He was a goblin warlock or something.
No, he was a paladin, I think.
Was he a paladin?
They might have called it something else, but he's also a paladin.
Okay, so a goblin paladin. All right, so his character, how he lost, if I remember correctly, how he lost to Goblin Slayer. I know Goblin Slayer sliced his throat or something like that, but I think he basically took the sword from him. So he sort of like led him on to like rush him with the sword. He stuck the sword into the
shield, and it cut through his arm,
and then
as well.
he took the sword, and then Goblin Slayer pretty much just finished him off. So yeah, he was trash. He went down easy, and that's the thing too. Like I didn't feel like there was any challenge for Goblin Slayer in that whole movie. Sorry, like there was no challenge for them. I feel like it was too easy for them. Like for the other characters, maybe not, but for them, like I felt like they moved down those. Like even when shit didn't seem to go according to plan, like they were hiding and then that girl started screaming, and I'm like, okay, shit, they're gonna have to come up with someone. Nope, they just continue killing goblins. That was it. Let's just kill these goblins.
Just run away from them and kill them at the same time.
And it worked. And I'm like, this is some BS.
It suffers some, like again, like action movie, not too much thought, even though the show previously has shown there's more complex.
That's
like if
the
that
thing,
was like the whole show was like the movie, the Goblin Slayer show, I think would have been, I still would have given it a high rating, but I think it would have a high rating, I should say, but I think it wouldn't have given it more like for me, the movie, if I had to say it really quick, it's actually just a 7. Like it's a 7. Like
it's kind of like
I was gonna give it like a 9 or an 8, but yeah.
It's kind of like what you mentioned about Michael Bay, like going to see a Transformers movie. Like if you go to see a Transformers movie knowing it's a Transformers movie and then complain about it, then yes. This is not This is not a Goblin. This is not as good as a regular Goblin Slayer episode. That's the way I put it. So like a regular Goblin Slayer episode, when he goes out and he fights some goblins, and then he like is really intelligent, and it's got you sitting at the edge of your seat, wanting to know what's gonna happen next, and how is he gonna like big brain this whole thing. With this movie, it wasn't that. I was like, whatever. He's just gonna do it. He just did it, and that's the thing. And the show says he does it, so that's it. And there's not much. It's not much tactics or intelligence to it. And I am afraid that the series is losing its edge, but we'll see what happens in season 2. To be honest, I don't know.
I do actually feel that. I feel like it has potential. I think, again, waiting to season 2, but
we'll wait to season 2.
There could be some worry with that.
Yes.
Are you worried? Like, are you genuinely worried about season 2? Or you think it's gonna be as good? Like if
I'm not even thinking about it, to be honest. Like, I'm already thinking about my next anime to watch. Like,
next anime.
I've already started watching my next anime. Let's put it that way. So the next anime, I've already started watching it, and I'm already thinking about that right now. So, am I thinking about Goblin Slayer? No, like my brain's already switched off on it. Like, I've watched so much anime over the years that even if something bothers me about a show, like I already think Goblin Slayer is good as it is. I enjoy what I watched so far. Even if they put out something and it's trash, I am very much capable of dropping a series. I did it with Bleach. I could do it with anything else. So, yeah, I did drop Bleach hard. Yeah,
Damn.
that's
Nah,
essentially it for me.
I got some
Goblins.
friends who want to watch that, but god damn. I'm just like,
I mean, like now I could probably watch it for just the action, but I would
Right.
not have. I cannot take Bleach seriously, like because I
you're
know how
not invested as a
I like Bleach is one of those shows I would put on in the background while I'm doing something. Like I'll be playing a game or something while that's running. I would not sit and
I
like
do like that as well. Yeah.
I can't sit and watch like I'm watching if I'm watching something like it's
Is there
it's
no
li-
chance of it growing back on you though, like a
No.
disgusting virus?
I like
or,
the
you know?
I like the animation in Bleach. I do think Bleach is one of the best animated anime ever, and I think it has some of the best character designs and stuff like that. Like those are the reasons that drew me into Bleach in the first place, along with the story. But the story is shit. Like that's the problem. The story is shit. If it had a better story, then great. But the Bleach's story is shallow as frack. Like it is a shallow, weak
for
story.
me, it was simply about time and like choosing between Naruto, Bleach, and
no, I did all three. Did all three like a boss. You know, it was a band of dreams.
What I was going to tell you is you're probably going to have a few people in the comment section. Yeah, Chad, can you guys go and comment and tell Q a stinky poo poo head if you're a Bleach fan?
Nah. And here's the thing. I don't even know how I had time to do that because like I had school, I had lessons. I used to play games. I had friends I used to hang out with. I had
never finished a game. Sorry.
No, I used to finish games back in the day. I had extracurricular activities.
I'm dying.
You know, like I had a lot of stuff going on back in the day, but somehow I used to have the time to like still watch like because it was like once a week I was watching those stuff. Like I was keeping up with those things as they were coming out. So it was like,
on the TV. Yeah.
One a week. That's not bad. Like I can do it on the weekend. You know, you do 3. And then you get it over with, and then you move on the rest of the day.
Just move on. Yeah.
So,
but if you guys want to go see Q, go check him out on his Twitch channel where he actually never finishes a game. Confirmed. You can ask his chats, and he will.
Bull. That is bull. Because you know what? The last game I was one of the last games I was streaming was what do you call it again? Triangle Strategies, and I finished that. And I'm playing Pokemon right now, and I'm going to finish Pokemon. I'm gonna finish it on stream, and y'all are gonna see it and be like, "Oh my god, Hercules, he's the boss, Hercules." Anyway, that's essentially it. How about we get out of here? I don't have anything else to say about Goblin Slayer. I've already given my ratings. I already told you guys what I told about it. You know, what about you?
You said everything.
I
wanted to touch on a few other things. There was something I forgot. Like it was literally something that was on my mind that I forgot.
That's why you gotta have notes, man. Like
yeah, I do have notes. Okay, but god damn it, okay, it was just something small. I think it was something with like the side characters and the build up and the world. And going on to season 2, there's a lot of like just in general, just talking about like the side characters, like the witch character. If she like, I think one of the things that I was thinking about when I thought about it is like how much we like the witch character and the big sword character as well, and the freaking Donald Trump son in character. I'm sorry, but he sounds in the English version. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Lance Master guy, the glaive master, Lance Master, the guy who uses the spear thingy. He sounds like Donald Trump in English, like a young Donald Trump, in my opinion.
Doesn't sound like that to me. I have not made that association.
I know a guy who can make armor, and then I'll show you where to get the best and most hottest tanning salon ever in the 7 kingdoms, and then I'm gonna show you how to kill goblins like a real dude, because you know, even though I don't like you, Goblin Slayer, at least you're gonna get me that drink after. And you know, I'm just sorry, this is my best Donald Trump impression.
No,
but he's like a younger Trump.
That character's a no for me. A hard no. Yeah. I feel like I've said everything I want to say about each of the characters, because we did do part 1 for this. Episode 9, I spoke more about the other characters and all that kind of stuff.
I was generally talking about just like it's coming back to me, like world building of the characters. You know how like we were talking about like Naruto and stuff before, they like have decent characters without going to in detail. You know, like for me, the overall arc of the overall feeling of the world feels alive. You know how Konosuba, for example, kind of feels a bit shallow, a little bit, in my opinion, or other anime, they would feel a bit shallow. There's like this one dude who needs a main quest, and there's this one dude who needs a quest, and like I'm talking about like other anime, not even like RPG element anime, like just other anime in general. Like they'll go to a town, they'll need help, they'll do something, and then that's like that town finish, and they'll just walk off and wave at the main people in the town, like bye town of random people that I'm gonna forget next episode. It's like, but these characters feel really in depth, and that's why I just wanted to touch on the rating on why Goblin Slayer for me is a bit higher than other animes, because I feel like they're in the main guild, they're just sitting there drinking all day, and then apparently they just came from a main quest and they just killed a big dragon or whatever. But they have depth. I think that's the biggest thing.
I don't agree. I strongly disagree. I don't think that Goblin Slayer has a lot of depth. I think it's like, especially the background characters. I think those background characters are shallow. I don't think there's much we know about them, and I like that. I like the way in which Goblin Slayer is because it's easy watching. I find it very easy because some anime, like for example, watching Classroom of the Elites, there's so much about the background characters, and there's so much to understand and stuff like that. It's great when you're in the mood for it, but when you're not in the mood, it's not, because it's heavy watching. You have to pay attention to everything that's going on and stuff like that. If someone comes in and interrupts you or something, it's like, missed something, I gotta go back. With Goblin Slayer, I could watch it and miss a scene or something, I'd still be fine for the most part. Because it's not as, and I'm not saying like with Goblin Slayer, his character, like they have given us backstory in him, and the other main characters in it, like they've been developing those characters as they go along, whether it's the priestess or the shaman, like the dinosaur, the lizard guy, lizard shaman. He's like, it's awesome that he wants to become a dragon and all that kind of stuff. Like, we're getting to know about all of them. We got to learn a bit more about the elf and why she left her village and all that kind of stuff, and the dwarf and so forth. So they're the ones that the story focuses on, and they're the ones that, and I like that there's a focus on them, that they're building those characters. Do I want to know more about the other side characters? Maybe they show up for a one-off quest, but if they never show anything about them and they just happen to hang out in the guild and drink and chat, and I'm still fine with that. Like, honestly, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Because
I'm just saying though, I'm not saying that I need to know more. I'm just saying it gave, for me, it's more in depth than some shows that it's
deeper than Konosuba, because Konosuba is just shallow satire. But I think I wouldn't say it's deeper than most, because there's a lot of anime
but for the amount of, think about it, right? For the amount of episodes that they have, that's what I mean. There's a how much could you squeeze out of 12 episodes?
Watch 12 episodes of when you see 12 episodes of, for example, let's say Shield Hero. You're gonna be like, wow. If you see 12 episodes of One Piece, it's like there's a lot in there. Actually, One Piece doesn't put a lot in the first 12. The first 12 episodes of One Piece doesn't have enough in it. Like, I feel like you need to see more. But then you
compare them.
You take the first 12 episodes of, for example, what do you call that one with, we mentioned in the beginning earlier in the podcast, the one with where everyone turns to stone, Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone, okay.
The first 12 episode of Dr. Stone, which is the first season, packs a lot. There's a lot of world building and characters and all that kind of stuff. We don't know anything much about the world of Goblin Slayer. We know about Goblin Slayer. We know he likes hunting goblins, and we know the whole thing about how he, his whole backstory and all that kind of stuff. Do we know much about their world? No. All we know, there's a hero in the world, and the hero killed the demon lord at the end of the season. I think that's where season 2 is going to pick up, with that hero coming into contact with goblins, and then maybe. And that's a hard maybe. Maybe that's the hero, because in a sense, I feel like them showing the hero was sort of like a way of saying, oh, there's shit going on in this world, but this guy just focuses on goblins.
We're not gonna show you that shit. That shit is
that's the main. Like, I feel like there's a.
I think that's good though. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
I do like that. I do like it. I think the thing with it is, like, I think the whole thing with the hero and stuff, I think that's like that could be a spin-off. They have Goblin Slayer, and then they have a hero, or whatever they want to call a hero, right?
Right.
I feel like that could be a spin-off of Goblin Slayer, but I feel like Goblin Slayer is good as it is. I don't see a reason for Goblin Slayer to be what the like, to spend a lot of time filling up all the characters. If they do it, am I going to be upset? No, it's fine. But if they don't, as long as they keep the big brain stuff and they keep like.
What about which character though? You don't want to see, like, maybe she joins up for a quest and then she's just like, like she's already interested in Goblin Slayer, like, clearly, and she's a hot.
Who's already interested in Goblin Slayer?
Which girl with the big boba? We're gonna call her Boba Witch. She makes boba tea.
Oh,
She makes the boba milk for the boba tea.
yeah. I don't. I mean, if she turns up for a quest, sure, cool.
I'm just trying to give it credit, man. I'm not big braining it. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying I'm giving it. Maybe this is like overshadowed. You know, someone watches this. You know, like I don't know. It's like watching a porn. You know, you just watch it, you jerk off, and then boom, life moves on. You know, like Goblin Slayer, it is there for what it is. I just appreciate it. They didn't need to add all of that extra shits. You know, it could have literally been no other side characters. They don't say shit to him, and they didn't even have, like, for example, hear me out, right? This is the one thing I want to add. They could have not added the hero. They could have not added any of the dragon killing. They could have just been a world where Goblin Slayer just hates goblins, and it's like medieval, right? No mages, no priests, no nothing, and he could have just been killing goblins. Think of it like you're playing Doom, you know? You're just out there killing goblins. They could have just did that, you know? It would have been shallow as fuck. It would have been half as good. But I feel like those small things give it, like, I would have given it a 5 out of 10. I've been like, a great show, because, you know, you're killing goblins, but no more depth, you know? They gave it unnecessary depth that I think, for me, someone who's watching this and thinking it's a Michael Bay movie, you know, quote unquote, I'm watching it for gore, right? And then they add extra depth. It's just like even the littlest depth is just like, oh, okay, cool, you know, yeah, nice.
It's something to have. Well, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from.
I appreciate. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what.
And I know it's good. It's good that you appreciate it, which is why, I guess, why I show my appreciation for you in the next anime that we're going to cover on this.
Oh boy,
you ready for this?
Let me guess. Wait, can I take a guess? I'm going to guess 3 guesses. Okay.
Okay, you have 3 guesses. Guess what the next anime is.
Don't say what I'm going to do 3, and then if they're wrong, you can tell me after, right? I only have 2 at the moment, but I'm going to say 3, then tell me after. Okay. So my 3 guesses are in order: Shield thingy, Shield Hero, whatever. Stone, Dr. Stone, and the third one might be like Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, maybe, or one of them. That's my 3 guesses. Tell me if I'm.
You're wrong on all 3. Straight up.
Damn, okay.
You're 100% wrong on all 3.
That's fine. That's okay.
Those are what I would choose for me. You know, like because
why would you choosing anime for me?
Because to a certain extent, like I would not have to watch those anime anymore. Like I would basically get a week to just kick back and watch new anime or just chill. Then you have to watch those and catch up. The anime that we're gonna be doing next is one that you've already seen.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing what I think we're doing? Wait. Okay, no, I need another guess. Are we doing a Kame ga Kill or JJK? That's the only 2 that I have seen that I can think of that I've told you.
It's JJK, actually.
Yes!
I'm 18 episodes in, and I've been actually this whole week I've had off. I've been catching up on JJK, and I am
okay.
I'm 18 episodes in, and I just have how many more episodes? It's 24 in total. So 6 more episodes to go, and then I'm done with that. Well, the season 1 and season 2, I guess.
It's like fucking Christmas today, boys.
And then we will do JJK next week. But well, not next week. When is it? Sunday? Today's Sunday. No, Wednesday. Wednesday. Sunday, yeah. So Wednesday. Jujutsu Kaisen is gonna be our Wednesday episode. You've seen all 24 episodes.
I have. If I have to say anything on it, right? Say nothing.
No, just keep that shit to yourself.
I have to say this. I might have to rewatch it. And I might have to focus more on it. So
wow.
You gave me a little bit of work still, but I could also skim through some stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, because I am not like I want to do it now because I've literally seen, as I said, like I am on episode 18 right now. I'm gonna do 19. I'm probably gonna do 2 or 3 episodes tonight because I am hungry right now at this point in time in the podcast. Like my stomach has been grumbling like a few times so far. So as soon as we end this, which should be now, I'm going to run to the kitchen and make myself a sandwich because I am famished, deadly famished. So I would say essentially, I'm going to watch a couple episodes tonight while I'm eating. I'm going to sit down and watch a couple episodes and then I'm going to go to bed because I have to get up in the morning and all that. It's actually kind of early, but still, I'm going to have to get up in the morning. So I'm going to eat and I think I'll probably be in bed by midnight.
That's crazy.
So Jujutsu Kaisen.
Is he husbando dreams, Mr. Q himself? He's a generous god. He's a generous host. He comes in Rare, can we watch Konosuba? Rare, can we watch? Like, I tell them what kind of anime I like, and we're just nailing all the anime that I like. We won't have any more anime because then we'll start talking about big brain anime again, and I'm gonna start falling asleep. I mean, I'm gonna start paying attention and getting a brain hemorrhage or something.
Yeah, you know what's the silly thing? You're saying, you're saying I'm coming to you and saying, can we watch? I'm not asking you, bitch. Like, we're watching what I tell you to. Like, fuck are you talking about? Can we watch this? We're watching this shit.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying, though. You're like a gracious, he's a gracious host. I'm a gracious host. Please, my home is yours. Eat as much as you wish. Lay with my women. Do this and that. It's just like.
Is that what you say when people come over to your house? Is that what you tell them?
No one's laying with any woman in my house.
You're like, come on over. Yes, lay with my missus. It's all good.
Wait, yo,
you come on, bro. You go out to get some snacks. You come back. You catch someone laying there with her, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? It was a metaphor. I didn't mean to literally be laying with her."
Like, with her pants down. It's just like, the fuck.
But you told me I could. Yeah. So I'm 18 episodes into Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm itching to tell you what I think about it already. But
yeah,
I already know what you think about it, but
I have lots of shit to say. I've said some stuff for you already, but we didn't actually talk about it. So it's gonna be like every episode, I guess, in the future. It's gonna be more than likely one of us hasn't seen the anime. I would like to see, and most likely I'd have to rewatch them anyways. I think any anime that I have mentioned, even like Elfen Lied and Mirai Nikki, which are my two favorite anime, I'm still gonna have to rewatch them, and I'm scared. So I really don't want to. If you're suggested, I'm probably gonna say no. I'm scared to kind of watch them because I have good memories of them, and if I rewatch some shit and then you say some shit, not that I would fall out with you, but then I'll be like,
I'll spoil it for you. Like I'll say something. It's gonna be shit to you after. You're like, damn it, Q, why did you have to point that out to me?
I like that them two are my favorite anime, and if they have flaws and people tell me that they're, your opinion is wrong, and I'll be like, well, it's my opinion, and I can have a wrong opinion if I want, and at the same time, I'm watching it and I'm thinking of it from like, I guess I was like 15 or something, or 16, 17 when I watched like some of those anime. And me watching it again, my brain and my mentality and how I approach things in life now is just completely different, right? So it's probably going to ruin it from like, not even you or the podcast or anything. Like, it's just going to ruin it from that perspective. At least I fear that it will. Let's just put it that way.
Who knows? Who knows if I like or hate Jujutsu Kaisen? I already know what I think about Jujutsu Kaisen. I already have a rating for it.
Right. Okay.
So that should tell you enough. Okay. Like, you can speculate as much as you want based on that information.
You guys need to find the next episode.
You guys need to turn up for the next episode to find out what I actually think about Jujutsu Kaisen. But I do have a rating for it so far. My rating was made after seeing 3 episodes, but then. Oh my God. I have seen 18 episodes, and that rating may have changed again. Who knows? But either way, I do have an opinion on Jujutsu Kaisen. Yes. I will note that I am watching it English dub, and there are some stuff I have to say about that as well.
Okay, I watched mine's in
Japanese.
I think.
Yeah, because
I watched
when it came out in Japanese originally. I saw the first 3 episodes in Japanese, and then I've seen from episode 4 in English. Right. So episode 4 in English, episode 1 to 3 Japanese. That's how I saw Jujutsu Kaisen. So keep that in mind. Leveler to you too. All right. So with that, I think we've got a podcast.
We have. So stay tuned.
That is episode 10 of the Instant Podcast.
Slayer.
Pardon?
Oh, right. That as well. That's the end of Goblin Slayer. That's what I wanted to say.
And
I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, you could find Rare pretty much at Rare Entry. It's on the screen somewhere there. That's with Rare. With that Rare entry has 3's in it, the number 3 instead of E's. You can find me at LP Garden. That's Garden Total You. You can find everything else at Simply Binge or Simply Binge UK. Pretty much everywhere else. So with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Innocent Podcast. And,
thank you, guys. Thank you.
I just want to get out of here now because I'm hungry. I wanted to get out of here like 30 minutes ago. That's how hungry I am, right? So we out of here this piece. See you guys on the flip side.